Hello, my name is Gunnar Berg, and today I'll be talking to you about how NCAA athletes should be getting paid. Being an athlete in the National Collegiate Athletic Association can be tough sometimes. You work really hard all week hoping for a reward. Your whole week is filled up with practices, weight room sessions, and on top of that going to class. All of that adds up to 40 plus hours a week, and that means there's no time for you to get a job. I know all of you have played sports and like watching them. You know how it can take up a lot of time and hard work even at the high school level. Now imagine doubling all that and adding even harder classes, and that's the life a college athlete has to live. I myself played sports in high school, and it was tough to balance that and school. I can't imagine being able to do that in college. I really enjoy college sports, and I think very strongly that they should earn some salary throughout their time on the team. An NCAA athlete is well deserving of a salary because their life revolves around that activity and don't have time for getting a job. Today we will look at what a week looks like for a college athlete, how the NCAA and the universities make money on sales of players' jerseys and other merchandise, and how it would affect the level of competitiveness among college sports. When you're an NCAA athlete, you lead a very busy life. You take on each and every week trying your best to balance schoolwork and athletics. The amount of time spent on athletic activities varies per sport, but studies done in 2010 showed long weeks for all athletes. They have practices, individual training sessions, and film sessions. Let's look at the hours put in by sport according to, here's the insane amount of time student athletes spend on practice. Baseball had an average of 42.1 hours a week. Basketball was 39.2 for men and 37.6 for women. Football was the highest at 43.3, and all other men's sports were averaged to 32.0 and women's to 33.3. All this time in the field and court leads to little time for schoolwork and studying. Let's say you have 10 to 15 hours of class each week, and then about 20 to 30 hours of studying a week, and then add that to the athlete's 40-hour week already, and they're up to 70 to 90 hours a week to be able to maintain your grades and remain on the scholarship. The scholarships these athletes are on require them to get grades meeting the requirement of the scholarship, or they will have their scholarship taken away from them. Meals can be difficult to find sometimes also. Sure, you have a meal plan on your scholarship, but it doesn't cover every meal. And you can't use that meal plan anywhere, and it has to be within hours. So when they're hungry and looking for something to eat, it's usually late from all the hard work they've been putting in, and the facilities are closed. In 2007, USC star receiver Dwayne Jarrett helped lead his team to victory in the Rose Bowl, in which he earned MVP honors. It was after the game in which the university made millions of dollars off that we find out what life can be like for a college athlete. Some fans were driving away when they saw Dwayne walking down the street after the game. They stopped and asked him what he was doing, and his reply was that he was trying to get something to eat. Now, that doesn't seem right. That man has helped the university bring in tons of money and is now trying to find a meal after the game. That's not how it should be. That brings us to the next part. The amount of money the NCAA and universities make on jersey sales and other merchandise of the players is ridiculous. This might be the biggest reason why this should be paid. The universities sell tons of jerseys and shirts with the player's number on them and make millions of dollars off of it. That right there is a good enough reason why they should get money for it. The universities are the only ones who can do this. The players aren't allowed to do it. It is against NCAA rules for a player to sell signed memorabilia, something like this, or game-worn stuff for money. So that's just another way they can make money. According to should college athletes get paid, the universities and NCAA still consider these athletes as amateurs. By doing so, they cannot receive monetary compensation, meaning that they can't receive wages or any sponsorship deal that would pay them money. A few years ago, the star player from the Georgia Bulldogs, running back Todd Gurley, was suspended from play for a whole season for accepting cash for autographed memorabilia. The NCAA has an argument to fire back with, though. They say that they use some of the profits from more high-profile sports to fund ones like volleyball or golf. But what people forget after hearing that is that it is still the star football and basketball players that bring in the money for the school and deserve to get some of that. According to the NCAA makes billions and student athletes get none of it. The 2013 NCAA men's basketball tournament brought in $1.15 billion in television ads. Yet after that astonishing number, the only people that profit from that is the ones in the NCAA business, not the players who are the only reason they're making money. It's the competitive nature of these kids that drive them to play, and paying them would only make it more competitive. According to 7 common sense reasons why college athletes should be paid, the so-called big schools are getting 95% of the top 100 players in basketball and 100% in football. If you allow athletes to be paid, the level of competitiveness will go up. The smaller schools would also be able to recruit some of the guys the big schools are. The top schools will still get the best players, but they won't have 3 or 4 of the top players. What will happen is that the smaller schools can pay more for the top school's 3rd best player because they have to spend more on their 1st or 2nd best players. According to Top 10 Reasons that College Athletes Should Be Paid, the NCAA repeatedly states that paying athletes would ruin the competitiveness. This makes no sense at all. There's a couple ways that it wouldn't lower competition but raise it instead. First, the better you perform, the more money you would get, leading to more sponsorships and even more money. That would in no way decrease the level of play. Second, the athletes have to worry about money, and that puts a lot of stress on them. Without that unnecessary stress, they could focus more on their sport and their classes. By lowering that stress and paying them, you wouldn't have to worry so much about underperforming. Now that you know of the many ways that college athletes are prohibited from earning money, don't you think that is unfair to the athlete? Being an NCAA athlete is tough for many reasons, but they shouldn't have to struggle for money sometimes. Maybe one day you will know someone or have a child that is an NCAA athlete, then you will be educated on this issue also and have an opinion about it. This is a pretty big issue with the NCAA and college sports. It is important to know about this and for you to share it so we can resolve this issue. I hope this has been helpful for you, and I hope that one day this will change and the NCAA athletics can improve because of this. Thank you for your time.